The first time my firewood disappeared, I blamed teenagers. The second time, I blamed campers cutting through the woods behind my property. But the third time, I found boot prints leading straight to my neighbor's backyard. And that was the moment I realized this wasn't random theft anymore. Because the same woman who kept reporting me to the HOA over unsightly outdoor storage was somehow also stealing the wood I spent entire weekends chopping by hand. I installed cameras expecting proof of petty theft. What I caught instead turned my entire neighborhood into a war zone. By the time the HOA realized what was actually happening, police cars were parked outside multiple houses, neighbors were screaming in the street, and half the subdivision thought somebody had built explosives in a backyard fire pit. And the craziest part? None of it would have happened if one HOA Karen had simply stopped stealing my firewood. When I bought the house, the neighborhood looked almost too perfect. Every mailbox matched. Every lawn looked trimmed with a ruler. Even the garbage cans disappeared at the exact same time every week, like people were terrified of breaking some invisible suburban law. At first, I loved it. After years of apartment living, noisy neighbors, and terrible parking situations, the quiet felt earned. The house backed against a small wooded area, which made the property feel isolated even though neighbors lived nearby. That little patch of woods became my favorite part of the place, especially during winter. I heated most of the house with a wood stove in the living room. It saved money, but honestly, cutting and stacking wood became part of my routine. Something about splitting logs after work made life feel simple again. Most neighbors ignored it, except Carol. Carol lived 2 houses down and somehow always seemed to be outside watching something. Trash cans, driveways, grass height, delivery boxes. She treated the neighborhood like her personal surveillance project. At first, she acted friendly. She complimented the landscaping, asked questions about the wood stove, mentioned how the HOA used to allow more rustic aesthetics before standards became stricter. That should have warned me immediately, because in that neighborhood, the HOA wasn't just an organization. It was a weapon, and Carol clearly loved using it. Within 2 months, violation notices started appearing. My trailer was visible too long beside the garage. My grass exceeded regulation height after a week of rain. The tarp covering my firewood was the wrong color. That last one sounded so ridiculous I actually laughed reading it. Until the fines started attaching themselves to the letters. The complaints became weirdly specific. Someone was monitoring my property closely enough to notice tiny details day after day. And deep down, I already knew who it was. I tried avoiding conflict. I moved the trailer, replaced the tarp, cut the grass shorter than necessary. I figured eventually Carol would get bored. Instead, things escalated. The first missing bundle of firewood disappeared in November. Then more vanished. Not randomly either. Whoever took it always selected the driest hardwood pieces first. The perfectly seasoned logs. The expensive ones. That's when I started noticing Carol watching whenever I restocked the pile. Not casually glancing. Watching. Standing near her flower beds pretending to trim plants while staring directly toward my backyard. Then the HOA complaints shifted completely toward the woodpile. Apparently, it was now a visual disturbance, then a rodent concern, then somehow a community fire hazard. None of it made sense. The stack followed HOA guidelines exactly, but the complaints kept coming. Then one freezing night, I came home and found nearly half the stack missing. Not scattered, gone. The cut logs had been carried away carefully, leaving only wood chips in the snow. And that was when I saw the boot prints leading toward Carol's fence. The next morning, another HOA notice appeared taped to my front door. Not mailed, taped. The letter claimed my woodpile had become an escalating safety concern and demanded removal within 10 days or daily fines would begin immediately. That's when I stopped seeing Carol as just annoying, because normal neighbors complained directly. Carol was building paperwork. Every complaint created a paper trail. Every fine painted me as irresponsible. Every violation slowly built a case against me. Meanwhile, someone kept stealing my firewood. I bought motion-activated trail cameras and hid them around the property. 3 nights later, the first alert came through at 2:13 a.m. I opened the footage expecting teenagers. Instead, I saw Carol, 60-something years old, winter coat, gardening gloves, dragging my firewood across the snow one armful at a time. And somehow the weirdest part wasn't even the theft. She inspected every log before taking it like she was shopping for produce. I should have called police immediately. But neighborhood disputes make people hesitate. Once cops show up, everyone picks sides forever. So instead, I confronted her quietly. Huge mistake. The second she saw the photos, she smiled. Smug, calm, completely unbothered. And suddenly I understood something terrifying. Carol genuinely believed she was right. She claimed the woodpile lowered neighborhood standards. Claimed bark and debris blew into nearby yards. Claimed she'd been trying to clean up the hazard. That was her explanation for stealing from me. Cleaning up. After that, the HOA harassment exploded. My grill became an unapproved outdoor appliance. My fire pit became a recreational structure violation. Even smoke from my chimney got reported. Every week brought new fines. And the worst part wasn't the money. It was the feeling of being watched constantly. Blinds moved when I walked outside. Neighbors stared awkwardly. Sometimes I'd wake up and find survey flags stuck around the woodpile, like somebody had marked a construction site overnight. The neighborhood stopped feeling like home. It felt staged. Then winter got colder and the thefts became aggressive. Entire rows vanished overnight. Eventually, I started talking quietly with other neighbors and discovered Carol had a history. She'd reported Christmas decorations before, fought people over mailbox colors, complained about pickup trucks looking low class. Then an older neighbor told me something important. Carol used to hold a powerful HOA position before recently losing it. Suddenly everything made sense. She missed control, and my property had become her new obsession. That realization changed everything. I stopped reacting emotionally and started documenting everything instead. Dates, footage, photos, violation notices. Then I discovered something disturbing on one camera. Several nights showed Carol entering my backyard without stealing anything. She'd simply scatter bark around the grass, photograph it herself, then leave. She was staging evidence, manufacturing HOA complaints personally. That's when things stopped feeling petty. One Friday evening, I came home to find a bright red final HOA warning taped across my garage. The board threatened daily penalties unless I removed the woodpile entirely within 72 hours. I called the HOA management office furious. And during the call, the employee accidentally revealed something huge. She mentioned the safety recommendations submitted by Mrs. Carol Whitaker. Recommendations. Plural. Carol wasn't just filing complaints. She was lobbying the HOA behind the scenes, showing staged evidence, manipulating violations, and judging by the sudden escalation, it was working. Then Sunday night happened. Another camera alert came through just after midnight. This time Carol wasn't alone. 2 HOA representatives walked through my backyard with her carrying clipboards and flashlights. That was the moment my patience finally snapped. Because now this wasn't neighborhood drama anymore. This was coordinated harassment. So instead of defending myself again, I decided to let Carol expose herself. I spent the next week acting defeated on purpose. I left the tarp crooked, ignored violation letters, parked my trailer slightly visible from the street. The complaints intensified immediately, which told me exactly what I needed to know. Carol thought she was winning. Meanwhile, I was preparing something else. Not explosives, not weapons. Humiliation. The entire gunpowder part of the story started after a random conversation at a hardware store. An employee joked about hollow logs popping loudly in fires if pressure built inside them. That comment gave me an idea. I prepared several fake hollow logs using rotten pieces from the woods. Inside, I packed harmless materials, colored chalk powder, fireplace color packets, and novelty snap pops. Messy, loud, embarrassing, but not dangerous. Then I placed those logs exactly where Carol always stole from. 3 nights later, the cameras caught her again. She loaded the logs into a garden cart and wheeled them back toward her house. And honestly, watching the footage, I didn't even feel angry anymore. Just exhausted. Done being targeted. Done waking up to HOA threats. Done feeling like a prisoner inside my own property. Then came the HOA Winter Social. Of course it did. Every December, the neighborhood clubhouse hosted this fake, cheerful holiday event where everyone pretended they didn't secretly hate each other. Carol loved those gatherings because they gave her an audience. Around 8:40 p.m., someone noticed smoke rising from Carol's backyard fire pit. Nobody cared initially. Then came the first bang. Not huge, but loud enough to stop conversations. Then another pop echoed across the yard, followed by a massive burst of blue powder shooting into the air. Panic hit instantly. People rushed to windows. Someone yelled about fireworks. Another shouted about propane tanks. Then the third hollow log burst open and exploded bright red chalk dust across Carol's patio furniture, several guests, and one HOA board member walking nearby. The footage looked unreal afterward. Neighbors running through clouds of colored smoke. Carol screaming. People coughing and slipping on powder-covered decks. And sitting right in the middle of the fire pit was my stolen firewood. Police arrived within minutes after multiple emergency calls reporting possible explosions. And that's when Carol's entire fantasy collapsed. Officers started asking simple questions. Where did the firewood come from? Why did surveillance footage show repeated nighttime trespassing? Why did HOA officials appear inside my backyard after midnight? Then came the question that destroyed her completely. If the logs belonged to him, why were they in your fire pit? Silence. For the first time since this nightmare started, Carol had absolutely nothing to say. The smugness vanished instantly, because her entire power depended on pretending she was the victim. And now everyone could see reality clearly. Not a concerned homeowner, not a neighborhood protector, just an obsessive woman weaponizing the HOA to control people. The fallout started immediately. Neighbors openly discussed how Carol manipulated complaints for years. HOA board members began distancing themselves publicly. Then the real disaster began the next morning. Internal HOA emails leaked throughout the neighborhood. Apparently, one board member panicked after police interviews and forwarded months of conversations to several residents by mistake. Those emails exposed everything. Carol had been coordinating complaint campaigns, encouraging selective enforcement, sharing staged photos, even pressuring HOA members to make an example out of homeowners she disliked. And my property wasn't the only target. Suddenly, neighbors who'd stayed quiet for years started speaking up. One family revealed thousands in unfair fines. Another exposed selective rule enforcement. A retired veteran admitted he almost sold his home after constant harassment over minor property issues. Within 48 hours, the neighborhood Facebook page turned into complete warfare. People posted screenshots, violation letters, old email chains, stories going back years. The HOA emergency meeting became absolute chaos. Homeowners packed the clubhouse, demanding resignations. People screamed over each other. Board members accused one another of corruption. Someone threatened lawsuits. And right in the center of it all sat Carol, completely isolated. Because once people stop fearing someone like that, the illusion disappears fast. The HOA president resigned first. Then 2 board members stepped down. An outside legal review got launched into years of selective enforcement complaints. Several pending fines across the neighborhood were dismissed entirely, including mine. As for Carol, things got ugly quickly. Police didn't pursue major criminal charges because technically the fake logs caused no serious harm. But the repeated trespassing and theft accusations became impossible to ignore once the footage surfaced publicly. More importantly, her reputation collapsed overnight. Neighbors stopped speaking to her. People crossed streets to avoid her. The same HOA culture she spent years controlling suddenly turned against her completely. And the strangest part? After everything that happened, the neighborhood became quieter. Not perfect, just normal. People stopped obsessing over tiny violations. The new HOA board reduced enforcement dramatically. Neighbors started actually talking to each other instead of spying through blinds. Even the atmosphere changed. Like everyone had finally realized how insane things had become. A few months later, I rebuilt the woodpile exactly where it had always been. Same size, same location. No more complaints. No more fines. No more nighttime thefts. Sometimes I'd look toward Carol's house and notice the curtains closed for days at a time. The woman who spent years watching everyone else suddenly wanted privacy herself. Funny how that works. And honestly, the entire situation taught me something important about people like Carol. They rarely start with power. They start with insecurity. Rules become their identity because controlling others distracts them from the parts of life they can't control themselves. But eventually people like that always go too far. Because once someone gets addicted to controlling tiny things, they eventually stop recognizing limits altogether. And that's exactly what destroyed her. Not the firewood, not the HOA, not even the public humiliation. It was the moment she became so obsessed with controlling my property that she forgot the simplest rule of all. If you steal from someone long enough, eventually you're going to get caught.